I'll delete it after.
Okay.
You were streaming.
Sure. I love Deb. I love her commercials. Hey everybody, Richard Neese here with Weichert Realtors of Space Place. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the Real Estate Rundown. We've got a special guest today in the studio, Amanda Whitehead with People's Bank.
Good morning.
And we appreciate you coming on. We've also got my trusty sidekick with the purple headphones, Dominic Gill here.
That's right. You know, I've just got to go and represent today, no matter how bad you feel about it.
Well, you know, it does hurt my feelings sometimes, but we'll stay away from that. So it's been a while since we've had a lender on here, and Amanda's a great lender at People's Bank, and we're going to talk a little about first-time home buyer loans. We're going to talk about the documents that we need to when you actually come talk to her so that you can get pre-approved, the differences between pre-approval and pre-qualification, tons and tons of information. But first, I'll let Amanda tell a little bit about herself and kind of what People's Bank does.
Hey guys, my name is Amanda Whitehead. I work for the People's Bank of Alabama branch in Cullman. I actually cover Cullman County, Blount County, and North Jefferson. We have, I believe, 25, 26 branches. They're all full service branches. And I happen to be the mortgage lender that covers these areas. And we offer basically all the same products every other mortgage broker offers. But
Sure.
we cover your government loans. And when you hear someone say first-time home buyer, that is the terminology that people use, which basically is your no down payment and your low
Right.
down payment loans.
Yeah, we're going to get into those a little bit more as we go through the segments. So one of the cool things about People's Bank is they're kind of in an in-between state. They're a local bank, but they're also a larger bank. How many branches did you say? 28, 20?
I believe we have, I think it's 26 to 28. We just opened a branch in Birmingham, as a matter of fact.
So you guys cover all of the southeast, or?
We cover north central Alabama,
Okay.
and then we have that branch in Birmingham.
Okay, I got you. So that's a definite advantage. It's not just one local bank, but they still have the folks here locally that can help you with the smaller things. One of the things that a lot of people get confused about are secondary loans and then in-house loans, and we can talk a little bit about that. Now, you primarily do the secondary. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I do all the secondary market loans, which is your government, your Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac.
A lot of people get confused about that because they think, well, I'm borrowing money from People's Bank. That means that they're giving me the money, and then I'll pay all of that back to them. And then occasionally, and I've had this happen before, not with you, but with other lenders, where they call me and say, hey, I'm getting letters from a different bank now saying that we want to they want our money. What's going on? Is this a scam? So explain what that is.
Okay. Well, basically, I can speak from my perspective
Sure.
and the way that I handle my deals. I always tell my people from the get-go that you probably will never make a payment to People's Bank.
Right.
However, we do have a very good relationship with our lenders who we sell your loans to, and it will probably be sold one more time, but don't ever think that we are out of the equation.
Right.
We can always help, and we can direct even though we are not servicing your loan. Basically, you know, if you're not making your payments to People's, you
So you have the
What am I
secondary
trying to say?
market. So what that means, it's sold, and then these bigger companies like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they buy a ton of these loans in bulk so that People's Bank can loan to more people. Ironically, so that they could loan to more folks. You know, if they give out all their money from their savings and from their investors, at some point they'll have to stop because they'll run out of money to give out to pay for these properties. So that's where the secondary market comes in, and it helps out because they buy those bulk loans, and then we can go give some more loans to other people.
right, and it opens up, you know, it makes People's Bank be able to offer a wider variety of products to their customers.
Sure.
So,
And the big part about that is, you know, with the secondary loans, and you can speak more to this, a lot of times there's stricter standards on that. They have to fit into a certain box so that the other investors, Fannie Mae and the other folks, can buy those loans. Is that correct?
that is correct. And I would say one of the biggest challenges working for your small town bank where, you know, it originated in a small town, everybody knows everybody.
Sure.
a lot of people have a hard time understanding that it's not People's Bank that cannot necessarily lend you the money if you don't fall into that certain box. It is the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines.
Right. And that's on the secondary stuff, which is typically the lower down
Yes.
payments,
Yes.
the lower interest rates usually too. I know Dominic's family, they have much more experience in construction and things like that. Those aren't sold on the secondary market. What do you guys typically do on that?
Well, our construction loans, we have construction lenders, and we work hand in hand with each other. So basically, I will go ahead and pre-qualify their borrowers and make sure that they qualify for the permanent financing, and then they'll start on the construction loan. It's a 2-time close, but we work together.
And then you guys have other products as well, I'm sure, that we can get into. But we've talked a little bit about the secondary market. So what makes something a first-time home buyer loan? Because that's where everybody, it's really a misnomer, but we can explain kind of what criteria it is.
Your first-time home buyer, like I was saying, is your no down payment and your low down payment loans. USDA is one. It's a no down payment, which means 100% financing. FHA is 3.5% down, 3.5% of the purchase price, and then we have a conventional loan that's 3% down of the purchase price.
And that's one of the interesting ones I wanted to talk to you about. A lot of local banks, they don't offer a 3%. What are some of the criteria on that? I know you can't speak exactly, but I mean, is there a certain credit score that folks need to be at, or is that something you can talk about?
Sure. I would say for that product, it's a conventional loan, so that product is going to really fit your borrowers that have your 700 plus credit score, because it is a conventional loan. Those rates tend to be a little bit higher than your government loans. So if you have a higher credit score, you can do the 3% down. If you can pay your closing costs out of pocket, that's a +2. You don't have to worry about the seller paying your fees, and your PMI is going to be less on that.
And we'll hit PMI in the next segment. The real estate rundown is a way that we can help good people get to a better place. We want to give you information from experts like Amanda to help you work through that process, from getting approved for a loan, going through the whole process through the real estate, closing on the loan. We bring in, we've got a closing attorney coming on next week to talk about that process. And we've got builders constantly coming in. We want to educate you every way we can, because that's the end goal, is to help good people get to a better place. My partner over here, Dominic's looking at me. You got something to say? You good?
Oh, no. I mean, I'm just trying to think of how can I, I was thinking about, people talk about those loans, FHA, USDA, all that. And those are the government loans, government loans.
Right.
And there's a big misconception about exactly that it's not exactly a government loan, it's a government-backed loan or government-insured loan, because I've had people take it to the point of where they look at it as entitlement type of a program, and it couldn't be farther from the truth with some of those programs.
No, I agree on that completely.
Yeah, so didn't know if that's something you want to go into a little bit, or you don't want to touch that for now, or... I
think I'll leave that alone. The one thing I'll add to that, on your government loans...
No, government.
your PMI, this is what I have to tell my people, and I just tell them straight, the PMI is of no benefit to the borrower whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, and that's something we'll go into on the other side. I also want to talk a little bit about VA loans. That's something we didn't touch. But if you guys are looking to buy or sell a home, you can always give me a call, 256-708-1511. We're always trying to help good people get to a better place. So
I was just trying to think of
fed now, right?
No.
So we're live.
We're live, so you can't get mad at me right now.
I just want to make sure. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Mine actually popped off. It looked like
let's go ahead and move this.
10 or 15 folks on here. Did you see that?
Yeah, let's get this up, because it's difficult sometimes, but whenever you're talking and you're trying to look at Richard.
Hey, Sarah, I appreciate that.
Your voice is kind of going back and
Amanda,
forth.
they have
How can we fix this right here?
She sounds good.
Oh, she's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening to it on the other side.
All right, so we're good here.
Yeah.
So it was just him.
It was just me. I kept turning, that's what it was.
Yeah, he was turning.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you jumping on here, Chris. I know you're out there inspecting right now. Mandy, it's good to see you. Nikki Whaley, Sarah Parvin. I don't know who the representative up there. Sarah, they have a title company, Twickenham Title up there. So I'm talking loud because I'm hearing this. So, but do you guys have an office in Huntsville, Madison?
No.
Okay.
We have one in Decatur.
Okay, I knew you told me about that one. and maybe a good contact, Sarah. They've got a title company up there that you guys can work with. So. Hey everybody, Richard Neese here with Weicker Realtors of Space Place. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the second segment of the Real Estate Rundown. We've got Amanda Whitehead in here. She's giving us tons of information about first-time home buyer loans, about the products that they offer. We're going to talk about some documents here in a few minutes that will help you speed that process up, because there's usually a pretty good time gap between the time that somebody comes, they want to start looking at properties, and they start talking with you, and they want, you need a lot of stuff to see if they're pre-approved.
Yes.
But
pre-qualified.
Right, pre-qualified.
Yes.
So let's go through the difference between the pre-approval and pre-qualified process, because a lot of agents may not know that, and especially a lot of folks that aren't working in that field.
There's quite a big difference. The pre-qualification process is basically where you come to me, I've taken your application, I've pulled your credit, I've reviewed some financial documents that I felt like I needed to see up front. I've told you you're pre-qualified based on everything that I see. Credit looks good.
Yep.
Here's your pre-qualification letter. You can take this to your realtor. That's the pre-qualification. The pre-approval is where you have provided me all the documentation that I've needed. I've actually submitted this to my underwriter. She's reviewed it. She's approved it without property.
And so what that's saying is that person is approved now, as long as the standards are met, if there's no change in employment and things like that.
Yes, that is correct.
And so on the pre-approval side, that's obviously the highest level. Once you get that done, then you can move pretty quickly through the process. We find the property, we get a contract on it, and then what kind of time frames are you usually looking on, let's say, a secondary loan?
For the pre-approvals?
Let's say that everybody has their documents, they're on top of it, they get everything they need. What about the whole process?
Okay, so this is how it typically flows with me. I don't do pre-approvals unless I'm asked to do them, because I can usually tell you based on my experience of what I'm seeing if I think it's going to go or not. So if they have a property, they've provided me all the necessary documentation. I had the signed disclosures. You're talking 30 days or less to close, and the flows from there. I get everything back. I'm going to look through everything again with a fine-tooth comb. It goes to in-house processing, and our processing is in Coleman. I order the appraisal, it goes to the underwriter, and then we wait for that approval.
That's a lot of steps in that, and there's also some other stuff. We have home inspections and repairs and things like that have to be done in most cases. So the 30 days is usually fairly standard. I know some folks say they can do it a lot quicker, but they're not telling all of the details on a lot of times. I know some lenders actually want a home inspection and repairs done before they even get the contract. They don't want it finalized until that point. And then it is pretty easy. You've essentially taken about 10 days off of that.
Right.
So I would question people on that and say, hey, be careful. I'd caution them, because you could lose that property in that time frame if you don't have it locked up with a contract. Would you agree with that, Don?
Absolutely. I don't know how many times whenever I was a realtor.
Back in the good old days.
Back in the day, whenever I was active and I couldn't speak freely like I can now.
That's right.
I just remember so many times people going through the process, houses being picked up day after we would show up because they needed time to think about it.
Or to get pre-approved, pre-qualified.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's where I had a rule where I would show somebody a house once before they would get pre-qualified. After that, they'd have to get at least pre-qualified before I show them another house, because they would have to respect my time in that. And I've seen realtor after realtor, time after time, not even go through the process. And I made that mistake once, and this is the one that burnt me. Was you know the story, right, Richard? A guy came in driving a really nice truck, dressed really well dressed, and he showed me his financials, and he made great money. I was like, oh, this guy's in the bag. I don't have to worry about him.
Yeah.
We went 2 weeks, like nearly every day, 8 hours a day, just looking at properties, probably in 5-county area, looking at these properties. And it wasn't just a house. We were looking at land. So you had to get out, get on the boots, and just start trekking back all these woods. And anyways, and so he finally found the property he wanted. He loved it. And he goes to the lender to go and get the financing approved. And his credit was like below 500 at the time, and he's like I've always paid my bills and everything. He's like, what could be possibly going on? He had co-signed for his daughter on a vehicle.
Oh no.
And his daughter had not made on-time payment. She was consistently 2 months behind for the last 8 months.
Oh no.
It's a pretty tough situation.
And it just messed him up, and never heard from him again from that. I think he was too embarrassed to work with me again.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And that was a lot of wasted time. I mean, I've sunk in probably 80 to 100 hours, just my time and everything, and I should have got that done ahead of time.
It really hurt everybody too.
Oh, it did. It did.
And that's the key. I tell folks in the beginning, not only do I want you to get pre-approved, because sometimes you can afford more house than you realize. The payment may be better, especially with the low interest rates we've had before. Most people are thinking, $100,000 house is going to cost $850. And I said, no, that's not the case. You need to go talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
You may be able to get a great interest rate. You may be able to get some financing options where it's a lot cheaper than you think. And there are folks out there that are paying for apartments and they're $650 or $700 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
I rent those.
Yeah. The landlord, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we were talking a little bit about the first-time homebuyer loans. Something that's not really a first-time homebuyer loan, but is pretty prevalent in our area is a VA loan.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people would think it is because you can get 0% down under certain qualifications. Can you give us some details about what a VA loan is? And because
Sure.
we've got a lot of veterans around here.
Absolutely. VA loan is a great loan, and the first thing I ask people that come in my office and they're just shopping products is, are you a veteran?
Right.
Because the VA loan is 100% financing. It has no PMI, no monthly PMI. It does have a one-time fee that you pay, and it's a percentage of the loan amount, and it's financed in.
Right.
But as long as you have a DD-214, I can pull a certificate of eligibility and make sure you qualify. Then as long as you qualify based on credit, it's a great loan.
It is. There are lots of benefits. You also can balance that out. With USDA, you've got to compare both of them and see what's going to be a better fit for you, because that funding fee may be pretty high depending on where you're at. If you've got disability based off of the military, then a lot of times that is waived.
Yes.
A lot of fees are waived on it. So definitely talk to a good lender, and you can also use the resources from the VA to let you know kind of where you're at on that. And most vets out there, if you've been to Iraq, Afghanistan, if you've deployed at all, there's a good chance that you've had 10 or 20% disability. You don't even know about it. So make sure you call your VA. I mean, I forget, ring in your ears. I forget what it's called, but just having that's 10% on the VA disability. So make sure you guys, if you want to get a loan, that may be something to save you a lot of money, and plus help you long term, because there's some other benefits to that. If you have VA disabilities, your children may be able to go to state schools for free and things like that. So we want to take care of those guys that have been taking care of us for sure. So the VA loan is an option. Do you have the limits on that? Do you know those? I think they changed recently, didn't they? As far as how much you can actually get with a VA loan, 0% down.
I believe they have changed. It's pretty high up there. I haven't looked recently. I've not had one that's been so close that I've had to check,
Sure.
but it's a pretty high limit.
I know that there's some guys out there that are getting lake houses locally with a VA loan, so I think it's somewhere around 300. And I'd heard that FHA and USDA were changing their limits too. I may have to do some research on that to figure out exactly what it is. Is that what we're doing tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, tonight.
Tinnitus.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah,
Tonight is when we're going to do it. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Yeah.
But the VA is a great product. I know we talked just briefly on FHA and USDA as far as what it costs to do it. But can you give us some details on what USDA is designed for? I mean, why we have that loan product?
Yes, the USDA is for your rural properties. So basically all of Coleman County is eligible. All of Blount County is eligible. There's parts of Morgan County that is, Marshall County. There's even parts of North Jefferson County that's eligible. So there is a website that I refer to. I never assume if it's outside of Coleman or Blount. You have the address. I'm going to plug it in there and make sure the property is eligible. Right. And as long as it is, then we go for it. And of course, your income has to be eligible.
And you said it's a rural development loan. Basically, the U.S. government wants us to spread out. They don't want us all piling into cities. They want us to take advantage of other areas. So a certain population limit. If you're so close to a major metropolis or something like that, I don't know the exact details, but they basically want us to live in Coleman County and other places and spread out. Yes. So that's why the loan, that's why they back those loans, insure those loans.
No, it's just a funny story, so I was waiting for a break, that's all.
We're about to go to a break. If you guys are looking to buy or sell a home, you can always give me a call, 256-708-1511. And if you're looking to buy, you can always call Amanda at
256-735-9582.
Funny story.
What? I was gonna talk about. I was gonna tell a story about my brother-in-law. I was telling my brother-in-law's a broker in South Louisiana, and
real estate broker.
Yes. And we were talking about he was talking about R&D loans. R&D, and I was like, okay. I was like, what's R&D? You know,
research and development loans.
yeah, rural development.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he's like, oh, he's like 100% fine with R&D. I was like, oh, it's like USDA. He's like, what? And I was like, USDA? He's like, you mean steaks?
Nice.
So I was like,
I forget people don't know. I mean, that's the same thing, but a lot of people don't know that.
Across different states, they have different acronyms, I guess. And this is.
I mean, RDs. I mean, they use it here.
It's the same. It's the same company or whatever.
It
the
is
same entity.
USDA RD. I just throw the terminology around and I forget.
Well, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. But we were both used to our own terminology, and I'm just like, because I thought what he thought research and development. He's like, it's like research and development loans. And then he's like, you mean like steaks? I was like, yes, they're the same people, right? The people who grade the steaks, USDA. Are they?
I wouldn't listen to.
Oh, that's not, no.
I can't hear you.
I said it's the same as the steak people, right? USDA.
Yeah, they certify all that stuff. I got it. The Department of Agriculture. Agriculture takes care of it all. Hey everybody, Richard and Denise here with Weichert Realtors of Space Place. Segment 3, our last and final one for the day. I've got Amanda Whitehead with People's Bank in here with me, and of course my trusty sidekick Dominic Gill.
So you call me? I'm the sidekick now, not co-host.
No, you're not the co-host.
So I went
Robin, calm down. All right, it's all right. You can't be Batman today.
Holy cow!
You got jokes, Amanda. We appreciate you coming on. What are some of the documents that folks need to bring to you to get pre-approved once we found, they've already talked to you about some of the stuff. I guess we can just start from square one. They call you, and what do you tell them to get a hold of?
The initial documents needed, just to get me started, is going to be your last 2 years tax returns, last 2 years W-2s for everybody in the household.
Okay. Anybody that's going to be on the loan?
Or? No, not necessarily. Okay. If you are a husband and wife and the husband's just going to be on the loan, I need W-2s for everybody that filed income tax together. Last 2 months bank statements, 30 days pay stubs on both people. And the reason I go ahead and ask for that is because if we're going USDA, we have to have it anyway. It's an income eligible loan.
Right.
So I have to verify all parties in the house income. And that's the initial documents, and then of course it can get complex from there. One thing can call for another, but that's what gets me started.
So Amanda, before you were a loan officer, did you do the processing side?
I did.
I thought you did.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell folks why they need all those documents? I mean, what is underwriting? Why do we have to have all this stuff? Why can't I just walk in and shake hands and say, okay, let me have the money? What is the underwriting?
Do you want the nice answer?
Yes, I want the nice answer.
Not the Dominic answer.
That's right.
Well,
we'll have 10:30. We'll start your answer. Okay?
That's right. That's right.
I will give you the short of it though. The income is what's paying your loan back.
Right.
So if I cannot verify the source that is paying your loan back, then we have a problem.
Sure.
So that's why I have to verify. Now, bank statements, this is going to verify funds. We're going to make sure that if you have $5,000 in your account, you didn't go borrow $3,000 the day before you came to see me, and there's a loan out there that I have not accounted for, which means there's a payment that I've not figured into your debt load. So it's just a number of things. What I do explain to my customers, because if I were on the other end, I would be saying, why do you need that? I've already given you this information. So it goes a lot smoother if you go ahead and tell them why you need it.
Yeah, no,
and
that's exactly right.
they'll be more willing to provide it to you.
And at the end of the day, they don't want you to default on the loan.
Absolutely.
It hurts everybody, but they also have another side of that. I mean, when we're talking about the secondary market, people are buying these loans, so there's certain criteria that you have to meet in order for them to buy it. They want to make sure that you're either a safe investment, or if you're a more risky investment, then they have to offset that with interest rates and things like that. So, I mean, it's really trying to protect the whole system, because we don't want you to default.
That's absolutely
with the
correct.
underwriting side. We want to make sure everything's right, clean. and we don't want to put you in a bad spot because I don't ever want to sell somebody a house and then have to go out there when they get foreclosed on and show it again because it's it's been foreclosed or on the courthouse steps. So it's important to know that. And that's why, because I was looking on Facebook the other day with some of the folks I've looked at houses with, and they were frustrated because the process was taking so long. Well, you've got to check all the boxes. I mean, we're essentially giving you anywhere from $50,000 to $1 million. So we've got to make sure.
And there's a huge benefit when going through that process is working with somebody local.
You're right.
Whenever someone already was working with me, one of my first deals, they were working with a big brand company out of Michigan that rhymed with chicken. And
I think they're out of Arizona, aren't they?
I think they're out of Michigan. Anyways, this one was.
Okay.
Not the Arizona one.
Yeah.
The Arizona one, he's good.
The Arizona chicken's good, all right? He's USDA.
Anyways, and we went through probably 10 different processors in that whole process of it all. And we had to re-upload documents 3 times, literally. They didn't have internet where they lived, so they would have to come, and we were up till midnight, 3 nights in a row, just sending documents over to them. And at one point, they emailed us back and said we didn't receive any of it after their system showed it was completely uploaded, so we had to restart the whole process over again. It was a headache. It was a nightmare. We got it done, but it was a tough process. And after that, I told them, I was like, this is why from now on, I'm only going to recommend local.
Absolutely.
And they were like, if we would have known it had been this tough, we would have moved over. But at that point, we felt like it was too late, and we probably should have moved on even after that point.
So, Amanda, I know that you obviously work with People's Bank. Tell me who you can work with and give the folks your information, because we're about to be up against the last break and then end of the show.
So, I'm sorry, say that again.
So tell me, you work with first-time home buyers.
Yes.
You work with just give me an idea of what products you guys have and that they can call you for.
Yes, I do. I do the first-time home buyers. I can do investment properties, second homes, so that covers rentals, your apartment buildings and things like that. It's going to fall more into the commercial side. So
Well,
basically,
People's can help.
yes, People's Bank can help do that. But I cover your single-family residence, condos, cabins, all of the above.
And I know that you have kind of taken it as your mission to streamline that process over there. So if people can't come in, they work during normal hours, they can go to your website.
Absolutely, yes.
And they can actually go through the whole application process
They
to
can.
get pre-qualified, right?
Yes, it's a 5 to 10 minute process. The website pulls credit. If you don't know what product to select, I just say select one, because as soon as it comes to me, I'm going to product fit you anyway.
Sure. So tell them how to get a hold of you, not just phone number, email, just the whole 9 yards.
Okay, the website, I'll give that first. It's peoplesbankmortgage.com. You can go to loan officers and select the county that you're in. And once you go through that process, it will take you directly to mine. My cell number is 256-735-9582. Have it with me all the time. Office direct line is 256-737-7091.
So Amanda, we appreciate you coming on and giving us all this great information. Once you get through with Amanda, once you get pre-approved, you can give me a call and I can help you buy a home. 256-708-1511. Hope you guys have a great day.